Hello, everyone. This is the Black Eel Podcast. Um, Here are your hosts, Scott and Mike. I'm Scott, and Mike's over there. Or over there, depending on how this looks on your screen. But anyway,
Look up.
and I hate him so much. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the first Thrawn book in the Star Wars series. Well, is it considered the first one, or is it the first one of this series? Because I know there's multiple. Are the prequels written after this technically?
Yeah,
Okay.
this was first, and then the prequels filled in more. That's why I
So
wanted to do this one first.
no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I understood. So that
Mhm.
we're reading the first Thrawn, talking about the first Thrawn book, and then we're going to be talking about the Ahsoka trailer and how we're super excited about that. Then we're going to move on to DC and talking specifically about the new character that's been introduced or announced, I should say, for the new Superman movie and the five actors, or is it six, that have been confirmed for the new DC EU.
Six.
Six, right? That's what I thought. I didn't. I knew it was a decent number. I apologize. But anyway, after we're done talking about that, we're
Some
going to move
number.
on to talking about three episodes of Secret Invasion. Yes, it's jam packed today. And then, as always, we're going to end with a character spotlight from each of us. But for right now, let's get right into Thrawn. Okay, so I got to ask this. They literally went through his entire military history in this. And when I mean military history, I mean like his rank ups. I was like,
Oh yeah.
holy shit. I don't. I First off, I knew he was a great character to begin with. I wasn't arguing that, and I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest with you, but I didn't think I was expecting so many people to not like Thrawn because he's blue.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Like,
like
like,
he had such a stigma.
and I don't. Maybe because I was thinking it was Star Wars that I'm like that nobody's racist, and I'm like, oh no, everyone's racist, and
Oh no,
apparently.
everybody races.
So the xenophobia was incredible, and I don't think I registered how many how many humans were in the Empire. Like
Oh yeah.
we are the master race, and I'm like sitting. I don't know. I don't think I ever knew either way. I guess the best way to put it. I think this put it in the light where you had to see it,
Hmm.
and I was more surprised than I should have been. I think.
Yeah. When I first read the book, like when you first see the movies, it doesn't really click in your head. Like
No.
you're young, so you're watching the movies. You're like, okay, they're just characters in the movie, and then like
I
you
don't
start
even think of them
seeing,
as human. I think of them as other races on other planets, not
yeah,
registering that they're technically human.
yeah. No, I mean you just like you said, they're all races. They're it's just the species is human, but from different planets or whatever. But I mean
Exactly.
in like like you said, it wasn't until I read the first Thrawn book and they like really emphasized how the Empire doesn't like other species, and the reason why they don't like the other species, which doesn't necessarily equate to doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Like they gave they gave the explanation, but whether it was that's the actual
The
reason or
actual
not.
reason, that's the other thing too. Yeah, I think the other thing too was the fact that I don't I don't think I registered either that him and Price knew each other for so long.
Hmm.
That was
Yep.
I think that one threw me off the most because and maybe it was just the way it was like I perceived it in Rebels, but it made it seem like they didn't really like know each other, but she knew of him. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
and maybe it still kind of was, but I mean, this one obviously paints the light that they were more of a team, even if it was more towards the end.
Yeah.
Uh, than it.
It in So what's funny is that when we were starting to rewatch Rebels, like I knew the whole story. Like I knew the commander and all that stuff. Like in that part of the story, I knew about Price, but I forgot it was Price. So when it came up in the show, I was like, oh, I completely forgot. And like I'm like, now the Thrawn books even make even more sense because it gave even more backstory to all these characters that we met in Rebels,
Right.
which gave it made it even better. Like I
Yeah.
said, like as I'm watching the show again, I have so much more appreciation for the show because I have all this extra back knowledge that I didn't have the first time.
Yeah, I mean the main ones. I mean, the main ones to my knowledge that like really stuck out were Ryder, Price, and obviously Thrawn. But we knew Thrawn. In my mind, I knew it was going to be about Thrawn because it's literally the title of the book. So I mean
Oh
that
yeah,
one wasn't surprising. And then obviously Palpatine, but I don't consider him Rebels. I consider him just Palpatine
he yeah
for
he's
obvious
Star
reasons.
Wars.
He's basically God. Let's be honest. Or devil, depending on how you look at it. But
Oh,
I do have to say I was much more impressed with, but all, like so even though they worked together, he still didn't trust Price,
yeah.
and but I'm talking about in this book too. Like I think I don't know how to describe it to you, but like he he even though he was a master strategist, and I'm not arguing that at all, he let a lot of like a lot more things to chance than I realized.
Hmm.
Like I mean he might have done the probability and everything else that maybe, and I'm not arguing that piece, but like I felt like a lot of like his bigger stuff were based more on luck and chance than it was on his actual like now I do not want to like stunt this guy's incredible ability. I'm just saying in general, like I think he got lucky a lot of the times, but granted he took those risks. You know what I'm saying?
The thing about him, so like he took all of he it. So yes, you're correct. It was very much luck, but like when he's planning things out, he's able to figure out all of the possible outcomes,
Mm.
and he determines what is the most likely outcome. No matter what, I feel like no matter what, he has a backup plan. So like if probability A doesn't happen, he already has probability B planned out. Granted, a decent portion of those probabilities was probability A total success, probability B they get annihilated. But his probability, he had a lot of faith, he had a lot of control of the situation, and he no matter what of the outcome, he was able to twist things so that way it would work in his favor. Um,
No, and I agree with you, but I think it really emphasized it in this light where it kind of showed it. And again, this is just my opinion of it. Was more luck based, and I'm not arguing
oh
that
yeah,
you're absolutely right, but it was the way it was perceived by me, in the sense of it was more of the luck. But I mean,
you're
you're
totally
absolutely
right.
right. He did. I mean, no matter what, you still have to take the risk, and you have to be confident in your choices. And maybe he did have backup plans that he didn't have to use. But I mean,
Hmm.
uh, and I do believe he probably did, but I think it's just one of those things where it's like when we see him in Rebels, we think of him as like, I have all the ideas. And
Hmm.
realistically, it's like he really didn't, technically, like in a weird way. Like, I don't know how to describe it to you other than that. Like, it was more of like, this is what we're going with. We're going to see if it works. Um,
Yeah.
and I think I have more respect for him because of that. Because he never, and correct me if I'm wrong, I never felt that he was like super cocky. Like I mean, like how do let me rephrase that. Um, I need to
So
rephrase that.
so here's the thing. He didn't mean to be cocky. He was confident.
Correct. Yeah, like it was weird. It was one of those things where it's like I never felt like he thought of himself as the best.
Yes.
And I still, even after Rebels and everything else, I still believe he never thought of himself as the best. I do believe he thought he was better than the Rebels, and that will never not be a thing. But in general, I don't think he himself ever boasted himself up like everyone else boasted him up.
So the thing with him that they emphasize in the book is that like his goal for the Empire is to make them powerful so that way they can defend protect his people.
Correct.
So that's his goal no matter what. Whether or not, whether or not he really like had this strong distaste or whatever for the rebels, like, whether it's just because he didn't think they were strong enough or if he actually didn't like them or whatnot, that's its own thing. But he saw the power of the Empire. His goal was to make it as powerful as he could, so that way he could protect his people. Um,
But in a way, he's still protecting his people because he never told Palpatine where
yes.
his people's bases and planets are
Hmm. Um,
because he doesn't trust the Death Star. Which, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean,
oh yeah.
I've seen what it can do in action. Um, I mean, he hasn't, but like I did.
Well, it's not built yet.
No, but it doesn't matter. We
No, no, no. I know he doesn't know what it
Rogue
is.
One
He just knows that
hurts.
it's.
Rogue One
He
hurts.
just knows it's taken a lot of resources to build it.
Yeah, which obviously, yeah, which is a whole nother issue.
But so like the thing I liked about Thrawn, which goes along with the whole like cocky thing, which again I don't think he means to come off as cocky. It's just him being confident. Is like him trying like with Eli and the other some his other commanders when he knows something he doesn't just straight out tell them. He wants them to figure it out on their own because if he's not around, he needs someone. Like I said, he's trying to build up the
Yes,
empire.
but it can come off condescending.
Yes. So like like oh how did he come to this conclusion? And he's like perhaps or whatever. But like he's trying to. If they get it right, he doesn't. He's not like putting them down. He's congratulating them and really proud of them because he knows that his he has a lot more ability than humans, like I said, like they said multiple times in the book, with his eyes he can see the people's auras, so
Yes.
he can tell when someone's lying or not, which is which comes with the like his distrust of Price, because he knows she's lying, he just can't prove that she's lying.
Correct, and he doesn't know necessarily what she's lying about.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. And like even though he knows when somebody's lying, he never knows like if it's like half truths or stuff like that. I don't. He can't. Like he could deduce what it is, but he would never actually know what specific piece is the lie.
Hmm.
Um,
um
but yeah, I think I definitely I like him more, but I also consider him more relatable now.
yes.
I feel like in Rebels he was like in my mind like too grandiose that it like granted phenomenal villain. I'm not arguing that, but like too grandiose to kind of relate to. And in this one, I felt like he was. I'm granted it's not it's a book, but still, um, I felt I felt like I could understand him more.
Yes, I totally agree.
I mean,
You get this you get the person side of him
yeah.
instead of this unstoppable general.
Well,
uh
basically the best Grand Admiral the Empire's ever had. You know what I mean? And granted, he's never boasted that, but other people have.
mhm.
And I think that's just interesting in itself. That it's like I don't think I really think he's so unique in the Empire because he's the only person that everyone else brags about that he does not brag about himself.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
every other person in power, except maybe, no, even he's too cocky too. I was gonna say, oh shoot,
You got a
that
bug on
one.
the wall.
Yeah, I know. He's been flying around. It's been bothering me. Don't worry, that one's not gonna bite me. Um, is it Moff? Moff, the second in command,
Tarkin.
Governor? Huh?
Tarkin.
Thank you. Um, even Tarkin is arrogant about himself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he's very arrogant, and
But my point I'm making is
he
like
has power and he knows it.
correct. I mean, like you look at everyone else, like Vader and everyone else, they're all cocky,
Mhm.
and Thrawn is the only one that isn't cocky. Everyone else boasts about him other than him, and I just find that to be such a unique trait in the Empire. It's incredible to me,
Mhm.
and I think it's because of that I like him even more because he
No,
doesn't
go ahead.
boost his
Go ahead.
own. No, he doesn't toot his own horn, which is a
Yeah.
huge thing. Because in the Empire, most of the people there are so like butthurt or they're so depressed that they need the validation from every single person. So they brag about themselves on every little mission that they complete.
Well, the thing is too that they were talking about it. They talked about a lot on it in the book. Is like the people in power. don't necessarily deserve to be in power in the sense of they got there because of their accomplishments. They got there because they just knew somebody.
Yeah,
So,
and that's been a thing that we've known about for a long time. That's never
but
happened.
it emphasized it more, and because
Agreed.
of that, it showed more appreciation towards Thrawn because
He
not
earned it.
only was he earning it, he was earning it so the fuck
No, it's not
he
the dog. I scraped the wall.
oh he was earning it so fast that like he got to rank a captain, and they said like he's supposed to be captain for to get to the uh
Yeah, it was a
next
certain
rank.
amount of time.
It was supposed to be like 10 years,
Well, yeah,
and
I
he got
can't
there in
remember
like
the
a
exact
year.
time, but yeah, no, he did it in a short amount of time. Was it a year or 18 months? It was still significantly less.
I don't
It,
remember the
it
exact one.
doesn't
I
matter.
just know
For some reason, 18 is sticking in my head, and I can't.
possible.
Um, but anyway, no, you're
But
absolutely.
there's like even with Thrawn being like going a little bit with his confidence, like when they were attacking the island, um, and the Grand Admiral of all the Admiral fleets, they were assigning the different admirals to take out different rebel bases, and he told Thrawn to go after the I forget what base it was, but he told him to go after the island, and Thrawn was just like, "No, I'm not doing it because I don't have enough data. If I attack him, I'm gonna fail. I won't attack him until I'm ready." And he assigned the island to the other admiral, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take care of it, no problem." And then he just utterly failed.
Yeah,
And Eli was like, they were just starting to like you, and now you just told them no. I think your graces are gonna go away. And he's like, "Oh, they'll be back."
yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's like he knows his limitations. Now, granted, like in Rebels, the limitations that he didn't know about were of things that would normally never be in existence technically. Like he
Hmm.
dealt with the Force, which is not something he's really dealt with. And frankly, in the Empire's eyes, the Force no longer exists because all the Force users are gone. Now, again, we know that to be false, but we know what the Empire is spewing.
Well, I mean, the Empire the Empire knows that they're there. It's just that they're so insignificant. It's such an insignificant amount that they don't care anymore.
But Empire
Um,
propaganda, they're dead.
oh, okay, yeah,
You know what I'm
for the
saying? Like that,
propaganda, yeah.
that's more of what I'm getting at. And I mean, he's so good, so good. I mean, like I knew he was good, but I think this just painted him in a better light, and like he was successful. Yeah, the turning down of the thing, I thought he was going to get much more like punishment for it, and I also felt like it was I shouldn't say easy, but like the fact that he assigned somebody else to it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Grand Admiral assigned somebody else to it. I'm like, I, I feel like it's a little bit weird because in my mind, I'm thinking like empire wise, it's like your superior ordered you to do it, you're gonna do it, and
Hmm.
the fact that he must have that much respect even from somebody above him. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
that.
you could tell that like the Grand Admiral at the time was not happy that he
Oh, I'm
told him
not saying
no.
he wasn't happy, but I'm not even talking about the happiness. I'm talking about the fact that he actually like had him switch. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
Like the fact that it was even a thing is what throws me off. Um,
It's interesting. Like I mean, going on like yeah, continuing off of that, it's just like the fact that he was willing to say I can't do it, I won't do it.
yeah,
Like a and then you know obviously his colleagues were like,
I got it.
"Phew,
I got it.
yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take
I
care
got
of
it.
it," and then they just got
How long?
got put
When do you need it done? You need it done tomorrow? I'll do it tonight.
yeah, and then just got spanked. So
Yeah, I mean, but that's the empire from as a whole to begin with. I mean, that's always been the empire.
yeah,
Um,
but it's
but
just
no,
funny to
you're
see,
absolutely.
and then they get put in
But
their place.
we're seeing it from a different light. We're seeing it from inside the empire, in the eyes of somebody who actually likes and respects the empire. That's a key
Hmm.
difference here, because
Yes.
this is the first time we're seeing it from that kind of perspective.
Hmm.
We've only ever seen the empires um, in the perspective of either a former empire, um, whatever officer, whatever you want to call him, or somebody who's hated the empire from the get go.
Yep.
And seeing it in this light and seeing it still be flawed, and like him wanting to fix it or like make it better is
Yeah.
incredible to me. But yeah, overall liked it. What is the next one? Alliances.
Yes. Yes.
That'll be the next one
Um,
we'll read.
what did you? Ah,
Don't ask me about specific battles.
no, I'm not. Just
Thank
what did
God.
you
There
think?
were so many
What
fun.
did? There were a lot of battles, and no, I'd have to really break it down for you, like I just did.
No, seriously, honestly, no, there were a lot. Um,
um, what did you think of having the perspective of being in the Empire instead of being out of the Empire? Like
like,
everybody in that was part of the story was pro Empire. Like how like
well, it didn't. So it didn't change my view on it because we could still see the flaws, but I think it showed. In my opinion, it showed something that we don't get to see often. We kind of see it around
hmm
the outside, where we get to really see why they're so loyal to the Empire. Now, granted, a lot of the time it is a fear, except for Thrawn, obviously,
hmm
being the exception. But most of the time, it's a fear or of wanting of power. You know what I'm saying? So, in seeing it in that light, I mean, it's still they still painted it in a positive light, and I did appreciate it. But I still felt that even with that positivity, that positive light to it, it actually still showed its flaws in a way that still overshadow its strengths. You know what I'm saying?
hmm yeah.
So it didn't really
No.
change. So it didn't change too much. I think I have. I think out of all the people, Thrawn is the only one I really truly respect out of it all, because every other single person that we've dealt with in the Empire, and all forms of media that I've seen anyway,
hmm
has always been of a selfish, either selfish reason, whether it be a fear or of just wanting of power in general. It's not about making the galaxy better or like making it safe for something in particular for the most part.
Yeah.
Thrawn was the only one who's kind of got like a sort of moral agenda.
Uh,
I know I
yeah.
use that term loosely, but when you compare it to the rest of them, it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean,
I
you
mean,
understand what I'm
like,
saying? Like, it's like
yeah. No, no. I
it's
understand
like
what
to
you mean.
me,
I mean, he's doing it for his people, so like it's okay, even though it's really not.
I know, and that's like the thing that really messes with me too, because it's like you're absolutely right. It's like I'm trying to like I'm not saying he's a good guy because he really isn't, but like comparatively to the rest of them, yes.
I mean, even still, it's not
I mean,
really. I
like,
mean, he sees everybody. If so, if you remember the conversation with Night Swan, like towards the end of the book, when he's talking about, oh, why do you care about the people? He's like, oh, they're resources.
no, I do get that, but I mean, like, but you understand what I'm getting at. It's kind of it's hard. It's hard to
No, no,
explain.
I totally understand what because it's like you want to root for him because like in the book it's painting him as a good guy,
Exactly.
but
No,
then
exactly.
like he's not.
No, and you know what he's going to turn into or what he already is, and it's like it's not
Yeah.
going to change anything. But like, I mean, at the very least, I could say this: he's definitely much more relatable than when I first was introduced to him. Um, and I think of him more now as not only as somebody relatable, but even more of a threat, just because of the
hmm
sheer fact of his like I don't want to say carelessness because that's not the best word to use, but like his cunning. You know what I mean? His abilities were already thought of as great to begin with, even before reading this book. But I think reading it really showed me exactly how he got to where he was in such a fast manner compared to everyone else. And
Yep.
not to say that like I really knew how long it took to get into the like rank up in the empire. I mean, they allude to it. They say numbers in the book, but I mean, when we see stuff, we really don't see people really ranking up much.
Yeah.
Uh, Normally, whatever your title is, what your title is, and you
Yeah.
have it for like life. And I put that in quotes, but you get what I'm saying. And it's
Yep.
it's so interesting that he did so with no help, really. I mean, like, all right, or
Well, he had a big connection.
he did have a big connection in the beginning.
I mean, you have to admit that that big connection probably helped a lot, like him ranking up
Well,
real
I
fast.
think. Well, I don't know if it was necessarily about the ranking, but it was definitely to get him to be respected because he was a blue guy, um, and that was a big hated thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, him. Uh, so he had a lot of obstacles, but his connections definitely helped him overcome those obstacles. But at the same time, like we said, he,
But he
he
like
earned it.
I was gonna say I'm not saying that like his connections didn't help, but it was really more of his skill
hmm
that got him through.
like a good example of his skill is at the very beginning of the book when he in the academy when he was able to use his lieutenant plaque to be able to outsmart the other students and the teacher from getting him in trouble.
So here's my question, and I don't remember it, but who got
Okay.
first place? Who was the first in their class? Because Thrawn was second,
I do not remember.
right? I can't. So I don't. I can't even remember if they mentioned it. But anyway, because
I
it
don't
was.
remember them. I don't remember them mentioning it.
I don't remember them mentioning either. I just know he got second and Eli got third in their class in the royal, in the um.
I honestly don't even remember them talking about who came in, like who was like top of the class kind of thing. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, because I remember it because I thought it was interesting that he wasn't first.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um,
Well, I mean, you
I
have to
mean, it makes sense.
understand.
No, no, no. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not like first off, I'm imagining it's a huge class, but what I'm getting at is it's just like based on everything he's done and everything else, the fact that he was. I know it sounds stupid when I say this, but he was second. Like there was somebody who was paperwork wise better than him.
Yeah,
Because that I mean, the tests don't necessarily mean that you were the better the better anything.
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he also doesn't have the like he doesn't have all his skills mastered in terms of politicking.
Well, also,
So,
well, that's the big thing too, and especially at that point in his life, because it was the very, very beginning. I mean, very, very
hmm
beginning of his empire journey.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I just was curious if you were, because I couldn't for the life of me, and I don't even remember if it was just mentioned in passing, like somebody talked about it, because I don't think Thrawn himself brought it up.
yeah, no, I honestly don't even remember that. Like, I don't even remember them talking about the like top of the class kind of thing. So, I just remember them passing and Eli being excited that he was a outsider that
Yeah,
made it in the Coruscant big leagues kind of thing.
yeah,
So,
I don't remember. It's gonna bother me now, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Um,
what did you think about him outsmarting the Imperials to get onto their base?
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, um, but I just thought it was interesting. I mean, like,
it's just, it's just him outsmarting them every step of the way.
I think that's what gets me is just the fact that like I don't know, and this is where I question Thrawn's intelligence, and t- take this with a grain of salt. Like I'm not saying Thrawn is stupid, but I'm just saying the Empire and the Imperials are just really dumb.
Yeah.
And like, is he really intelligent, or is he just you know what I mean, like slightly above average?
hmm
Because it seems like everybody in the Empire or in the Imperial Empire is just dumb.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
You understand what
I
I
mean, it
mean?
goes back to the whole like they don't really deserve their ranks. They only got their ranks
I
because,
no, and I agree with you, but that's kind of the point I'm making is just the fact like
yeah.
it's like I don't want it to diminish how great Thrawn is, but like, is it really truly Thrawn's skill, or is it really how incompetent their ranks are?
hmm Um,
Because it really, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like the more you think about it, right? it's not so much that the feat isn't great, like, oh, it was great that he tricked them and everything else. But I think the big thing for me is just the fact that it's like, is it truly a good feat? The more and more we learn about the Empire.
Well, and so don't like you said, they're stupid. Like they're don't like that's like there's no we've seen it time and time again. They're stupid, but you
It's still
can't
not
take
super
away
easy. It's not super
so like
easy to
some
convince
of the things that he
people.
was doing, like at the very beginning, like when he was swapping the like when he was taking the gear from the stormtroopers, uh, he swapped their headpieces. So that way they knew that one of the headpieces was missing, so they disabled it. But he was smart enough that he switched it, and that's something not really you're gonna think. I mean, I wouldn't think of it like, oh, I got to make sure that it's the right one that corresponds with this helmet, especially if you're going after you're thinking you're going after primitives. So um,
I mean,
given the situation, I don't think they really knew. They obviously they didn't know the full extent of the enemy that they were going up against.
no, true.
So
That is also true. I mean, that is also another factor too. And they're so arrogant that they would have thought they were superior anyway.
yep.
Um, and again, I don't want it to. I don't want it to ruin his accomplishments. I'm just saying in general. Like you're absolutely right. He thought of things that most people would not have, without a doubt. It's just one of those things where it's like he definitely covers his bases without a problem.
Hmm.
Overall, I thought it was a good
Uh,
book.
what did you think of Eli?
Um, I don't know how I feel.
No, no.
Um, so like, it's because of their relationship, right?
Hmm.
So for me, it was like I don't think Thrawn has relationships. First off, like
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things where it's like based on how he acts and everything else, it's tough to say that he has relationships. I would definitely say Eli is the closest.
absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely. I mean,
if it's
he's
not
his closest friend, but he's
if it's
still a resource.
yeah, like meaning like if you had to define somebody as a friend, he should be first on the list for sure.
Hmm.
But do I even consider that Thrawn thinks of him as a friend? I definitely think Eli thinks it's more of a relationship than Thrawn does, for sure.
I definitely. I mean, you could tell by the end of the book, especially when he's talking to Night Swan about him, that he has a lot of respect for Eli.
But respect is different.
Yes,
So
doesn't
like
necessarily make him a friend, but he
that,
definitely has a lot of respect for him.
and I definitely think that's probably why he stayed around him for so long.
Hmm.
But my whole thing is, it's like it's tough to say that it's a relationship, and I don't mean like an intimate one. I'm talking about just like a friendship.
Yeah,
Mostly due to the way Thrawn is. It's
no, I
really.
totally agree.
I definitely think Eli thinks of him as his friend, for sure. Um, um, but
As close as a mentor can be for as a friend, at least.
yes, no, agreed. But I also think too, like definitely Thrawn respects him. That's without a doubt, and I never question that. But respect and friendship are two very different things, and
Hmm.
I cannot. The two are not exclusive, so I can't say. Um, friend is a strong word in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, just as an example, like he respects Eli, and he
Yes,
definitely thinks of him as a close comrade. I'll
yes,
call him a comrade. Um, but then he also has a lot of respect for Night Swan. Definitely not friends.
no, that is for sure. Well, he also has respect for a lot of people who are not, um, like not even on the same side as him.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Bridger and Hela were two people he respected.
Yes. I was just giving like a kind of an example of
No.
the
And
difference. Like
no, I get what you're
obviously,
saying,
like
but
because
that's even
obviously the way I had said it about how because he respects Eli and makes him a friend. I was just trying to like
no,
fix
and I get
my.
that, but I think that also adds to my point more the fact that it's like he can respect somebody even if he does not actually agree with them, and I
Yeah,
think that's very admirable of him.
I hate you.
I didn't
I
try to
hate
say
you.
it was very grand admiral of him, but I thought that was really pushing it. Um,
It was pushing it enough on that. Oh my
No,
God.
that's why I did it. That's why I only did
Oh,
that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with definitely respected. Definitely thought of him as a great comrade, and definitely somebody he could. I even hesitate to say it's somebody he trusts.
I think he trusts him.
Does
'Cause,
Thrawn
you
truly
know,
trust anybody?
well, so here's the thing is that like he trusts him enough to be able to leave him like give him
Okay, that's fair.
responsibility.
All right, so I will say I agree to you on that one. But when I think of trust, I think of somebody with the utmost of trust and telling them almost everything. And I don't think Thrawn feels that way about anybody.
I think so.
Not easy.
So I think so I think in at least in the story, Thrawn doesn't want to just give anybody all the information.
Okay, that's fair. He wants
You
them
know,
to
he
learn.
wants,
He wants them to actually
yeah,
learn. Okay, so that might not be the best example based on because of what he's trying to do.
yeah.
But in realistic, in my mind, right, trust is doing that,
hmm
right? But I do get your point where it's like, is it really truly trust, like that he doesn't trust him, or is it the fact that he wants him to be successful on his own?
So I think that actually proves that he does trust him because he trusts him enough to figure it out on his own that he doesn't have to tell him to do how to
Okay,
do it.
you know what? That all right. That all right. That shuts me up. Yeah. No, because you know
um,
what? You're absolutely right. Because I would never, I wouldn't have put it that way. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, you're right. First off, you're right. But I don't think I would have come to that conclusion. I would have
yeah.
definitely thought that he trusted him enough to do it, but I wouldn't have come up to the conclusion that he trusted him to like trusted him so much that he could come up with the right solution.
hmm
All right, that's fair.
Um,
One more, then we're gonna move on to the next thing.
oh wow, this is going fast.
Well, it's
I
not that
just
it's
want
going
to like I'm
fast. I think we have to actually be a little bit more structured.
no, I know. It's just that I'm like there's a lot to go over in the book, so I'm
Well,
trying to like
I
trying
don't
to
think I
like
was expecting there to be so much in this book because I knew there
there's
were
a
so
lot.
many other books. I thought it was going to be like shorter. I don't mean the book.
No, no.
No, no, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the length of the book. I'm talking about
You're
like
you're talking about more concise. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm talking
Um,
about like oh, this is going to be one story like hashed out, and it kind of was, but at the same time, it was like a lot of intense different battles that I was like, who did what?
this
What?
yeah. This book
Jeremiah
like
went where?
this book see the thing about this first book is that it like started when he first encountered the Empire and goes through to the goes covers him going up to getting the Grand Admiral or the Grand Admiral rank.
Yes.
Um, so it covers a lot, but it also you know it has a specific goal to tell,
No, agreed.
and
It does, but
each different story helps push it to get to that end plot.
no,
Um,
I do agree to that. But what I'm getting at is it was
you
because
just weren't expecting that.
no, that's exactly right. It was a bunch of different, like it was a bunch of short stories to tell a grand story,
Yep.
and I don't think I was expecting that piece.
I was expecting you to say Grand Admiral story.
Actually, to be honest with you, when you started shaking your head, I wanted to say for once that I was not trying to make a pun, but it
um,
actually wasn't. Which is what's even funnier. But no, you get my point I'm making. I think it was just one of those things where it's like, I was expecting it to be a novel, not a
hmm
bunch of small short stories combined together to
hmm
show the life of Thrawn to become Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah. Um, the uh, the next book is the next couple books are more focused.
Well,
So
after reading this one, I figured it had to be because he ain't ranking up
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Um, the so I'll give a very short summary after the end, but the So how did you like the like going into the backstory of Governor Price?
So I thought that
Eh,
was interesting. We learned more about her, but I don't know. I feel like less respect for her.
oh, absolutely. It makes me
Um,
hate her so much more.
yeah, I felt like none of like. Don't get me wrong. We learned more about her, and kind of what her role was on Lothal before Rebels, really. And like we
Hmm.
knew she was involved, obviously, in some way. But I don't think I registered how long she was there for. Like it was actually her
Yeah.
home planet. I mean, I know they mentioned it in Rebels, but I don't think I registered like she was what she was. I guess the best way to put it.
Hmm.
Like the family owning the mine and everything else,
Yeah.
and then the mine
I
was.
was. I mean, I was more impressed. I mean, I was very impressed with how she was able to jump to become so powerful. I mean, she owned a small mine that got bought out and or overtaken,
Mm.
and she just had the determination to be able to get back at people. And I mean,
And she also was like not only that, but like she used her relationships like very poorly. I mean, granted,
yeah,
huge benefit for herself, but I mean, yeah, she threw people under the bus like crazy. Like, oh
yeah.
no, no, I would never do such a thing. Off with her head, or maybe you should be more cooperative and we won't kill you. It's like, but you told me to do this. I would never.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
How she took out the senator Riker.
and I'm
Um,
like, wow, good, good for you, I guess. Yeah, I definitely hated her more. Not that I was a
I'm
big fan of her to begin with, but I definitely hated her more.
yeah, no. I gotta like throughout reading, like at the beginning, like I felt bad and like I'm like, oh, I'm
I
kind
felt
of
bad for
rooting for her.
Lethal. Well, I think all
No,
right. So in the very beginning of her backstory, yes, like
once she started betraying her friends, then it started like,
oh yeah,
then it was like, all
then
right,
I was like, oh no, she's perfect for the Empire.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. And like how she was just like constantly like when she was going to save her parents and how like she was just so cutthroat. Yeah.
I know I hate doing that, but it's like it's so true. It's like yeah, saving her parents. That was her goal.
Well, that one she did want to save her parents.
Because
I mean, yes, there were other motives there,
all
but
right, I will say this. All right, I will agree with you that she actually would have wanted to save her parents, but that
she
wasn't
didn't
the
want her
only
parents to get
reason.
killed.
Yeah, but that was not her only reason for being there. Like it's kind of sad when I don't think it was the number one reason.
Yeah.
It was one of
Granted,
the
she wouldn't have been there if her parents weren't in danger, but
valid. No, no, I agree. But I also think she took all the opportunities to better herself out of that
yes,
situation and definitely saving her parents. Um,
1000%.
yeah, I mean, like I said, it definitely painted her in a more dark light, which paints her more as the villain, and also proves more why Thrawn never really trusted her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
He trusted her up until that point, right, with the whole parent situation.
well, yeah, I agree with you.
Well,
Although I
trust
think,
as much as he can trust her, you
well, I
know.
was gonna say, I don't think he ever like really truly did anyway. Not that I think he really did anybody all that often, but
Hmm.
it was definitely a lot less after that for sure.
Yeah.
Because even he has respect for his family.
Yeah. But yeah, because I know you want to move on to the because we have a lot to talk about, and you
Well,
want to
the
move
other
on to
thing
the
too
next
is it's
thing.
just I feel like we could actually literally talk for 2 hours about this book alone. I mean, all joking
Easily.
aside, and that's not even an exaggeration. So I think one of the things that we have to try to do is not so much limit ourselves, but try to talk about the main stuff. And I think we definitely did that. So in
Yeah.
the next video, we are going to actually be watching, reading the second book. I'm going to be watching the second book. Just going to watch it. Just going to have it right here. Just watch it.
I
Um,
mean, I'm one step closer because I'm listening to it.
Valid,
So,
valid. He's using his ears. So I'm gonna be using my eyes to
um,
read it. But
but the next book is called Alliances.
yeah,
Um, it's so this one,
that's
like I
like the
said, is
only
more
thing I know about
concise.
it.
It's
And it's the sequel.
as you saw at the end of the book, they introduced Palpatine introduced Vader to Thrawn.
Yes.
Um, so in the next book, they're going to be talking about they're going to be going into the more relationship between Vader and Thrawn.
Okay.
And
Now, do we?
this next
Oh, no, I won't ask them.
yeah, I was going to say the only thing I'm going to be revealing is that it's going to be going into the Vader and Thrawn relationship, and this next book has a lot of flashbacks.
Okay, no, then I have my answer already.
Oh, there you
No,
go.
because I have a feeling I know one of the stories because of, I think maybe one of the death battles. They talked about a specific instance with Vader. Um,
Oh, really? Okay.
it had to have been the one with Vader versus Doctor Doom, but it had to do with something about him being attacked or being hunted. And I thought
Oh, okay.
Thrawn helped him or he worked with Thrawn. I forget. But anyway, not the point. Um,
You'll find out.
no, I figured as much. But anyway, I knew there was one story of the two of them together that I don't think either of them actually knew the other one. And it was, I believe it was Anakin, actually, to be honest with you. But anyway,
Yes.
not the point. All right,
Yeah.
let us move on to the next thing because I've now pulled the mic. Um, we're moving on to DC.
No,
So,
we're not.
oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. We're moving on to Ahsoka. I apologize.
My goodness.
So, Ahsoka's new trailer. Um, okay,
That like, I'm already psyched for Ahsoka, and this trailer just I like kicked it up a notch for me.
okay, so it definitely shows much more action, which I do like. My thing for you is, are you a little worried about the actor who died?
Are you like talking about like his character not finishing the story in the series?
Yeah,
Yeah, that is a concern for me.
I
Um,
feel I'm hoping that he might not have as big of a role because they can't. It's not like they can say like how big his role was. You know what I'm saying?
no, yeah,
For obvious reasons. Like the same thing with when in Moon Knight the actor died. Like, oh, the Moonlight actor, a Moon Knight actor died, and everyone was like, oh, it's such a tragedy, and he just started his career, and then it turned out
yep,
his part wasn't that big, but they couldn't
yep,
say it for obvious reasons
absolutely,
because it would.
yeah.
So I'm wondering if his part was significant enough where, like, and I don't mean like his part was small, but I'm talking about like, was it something that was only for this season, and that his apprentice would take over? Type of thing, like, or is it something that they're going to have to kind of change because of unfortunately his passing? Did
No,
you know
that's
he was?
definitely
First
something that
off,
we're
did
gonna
you
have to.
also know that actor was in Marvel?
I found out. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't realize that at first. I
I
don't
would have
remember
never
when I
guessed it.
found out, and
I
I don't remember who he played, but
It was Thor. The fact the
right, right, right,
Thor's
right. Yep, 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 yep.
because
Um,
I would have never guessed that in a million years. Somebody
nope.
there's somebody maybe it was on YouTube, but there was a thumbnail of him with the red lightsaber and then him as the guy from Thor, and I was like, oh, they are the same person.
Yep. No,
That's how I
I did not know that. I
No,
know
I didn't know.
people
I
had.
would never have
I
known
know he was
without
a known actor. I just didn't know that
what
he
he
was
was.
in what other
Yeah,
stuff
no,
he
he
was in.
definitely looked familiar, and he's been in a lot of stuff that I didn't. I would have never known.
Yeah.
Like definitely, I would have known after seeing Ahsoka, but like I would have never connected the dots that he was in Thor
Mm-hmm.
because they
Absolutely.
changed his everything for that.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, completely different look. So
Right,
I
right.
mean, um, but no, that's definitely a concern. Obviously, there are other ways. They could recast him if he becomes a bigger role, which is unfortunate. But I
Well, they
mean,
could, but I also
obviously,
think too. I feel like the character might not be that important in the sense of to need it because they could change it. Like maybe the idea was he was going to be, but it might not be a huge issue that he's gone. I do feel bad though, but I definitely am excited about it. I mean, I was excited about it before, but I do agree with you. I'm even more excited. I don't know. Maybe
yep.
it's just the lightsabers. I know they could.
I am looking forward to those duels. It has the potential to have like some of the best live action dueling.
So I will say
Uh,
this. I normally say with Star Wars, I'm sick and tired of lightsabers and stuff like that, and I have said it. That being said, I think we've gone long enough without it. Like we've had some bad ones recently. When I say recent, I mean like the movies. Um,
Okay. Well,
the
yeah.
more
Okay.
like the sequels. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No. 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 I know. I'm just the most recent dueling we had was in the Obi-Wan show, so that's why I
All
was
right, no, no,
confused.
that was good, but you understand what I'm saying. But even that wasn't like very lightsaber focused.
It wasn't crazy. It had two duels, but like
But no, what I'm saying is, it's like it
it fit
wasn't
the
like it was.
story.
Yeah, but
It-
it wasn't a lightsaber focus. This looks like it's going to be very lightsaber focused, and I
mhm.
think in the way I've seen it, from what we've seen so far, it looks like it's going to be great.
Yep.
I'm actually
I'm
looking forward to it.
interested. I'm interested. I'm looking forward to Sabine run using Ezra's lightsaber. I'm interested in exploring the story of this. It seems like this tension between Ahsoka and Sabine. Um,
Because yeah, I'm curious about where that comes from
yep.
because we also don't know. We know it's in the future. Well, future is a relative term.
We don't know how long it's been since Rebels.
Thank you.
Which is I know we've talked about it a few times. We don't know where this falls in the timeline.
Yeah, we
Um,
also don't know. We really truly don't know. Like, is it like right after Rebels
mhm.
in the sense of like because there was that huge gap of time from
Yep.
when Ezra leaves to the very very end of
It could be like yeah, it could be at the end of the it could be at the very end of episode 6. It could be a couple years down the road, like after Mandalorian.
more importantly, are we going to see Hella's kid?
Yep, I thought we were gonna see maybe in him in the trailer because when we saw her walking, I was like, oh, is he gonna be there? Nope.
Yeah, I know. No, no, that's a big thing too. Is she have him under protection somewhere? That's a possibility too.
Hmm.
Um, although I feel like if anything, she would not do that. Um, I know, but it's been a long time. We don't know who's trying to kill her.
Valid.
I mean, that's the other thing. That's literally what comes down to that. Like she would, I know for a fact she'd protect her kid without a doubt, but like she would also make sure that, as awful as it sounds, like that the kid would never see her again, just to make sure that he was safe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I
She
mean,
would
when it
take that
comes,
sacrifice.
when it comes to protecting her family, she makes sure that she,
She does
like
everything
we
safe.
like we said after what happened in Rebels with Kanan, you know,
She changed.
it kind of put a new perspective on things for her.
Agreed. Overall, I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Is it only
No, I
six
cannot
episodes?
wait.
Well,
I
we
do
don't know.
not know.
We
I
don't know.
don't know. I don't know if they said it.
I don't
I
remember.
don't
I
know.
don't
I hope
remember
it's
them
not
saying
6.
it. I don't remember them saying it. I'm assuming it's six only because everything else has been six. But that doesn't mean it's actually gonna be.
Incorrect. When it comes to Star Wars, they tend to do it's either 8 episodes.
You know what? You're right. I'm thinking of just Marvel in general. But what was
Marvel is 6. Book of Boba Fett was 6.
eight?
I know Mandalorian's 8. I'll
I thought Book of Boba Fett was eight too because it was the same universe. Oh, in that case,
might have been 8.
it could be eight for this.
Let me I'll find out right now. But the only one that is not is the cartoons, which, that's whatever. And Andor, which was 12. Mandalorian. Let's see. Mandalorian, obviously 8 episodes in season 3. Season 2 was 8 episodes.
8 episodes.
In Boba Fett.
Nope, in Ahsoka. The first 2 episodes of the 8 episode run will hit Disney Plus on August 23rd,
Oh,
and then will come out weekly on Wednesdays.
all right. That's acceptable, I guess.
Makes sense because
No, it does.
I believe all the others were eight.
Yeah. No, I think so. The only one I wasn't sure about was Boba Fett, but it's probably 8 because everything else has been 8
It could
except
have
for
been
Andor.
something stupid like nine.
No, it definitely wasn't. I know that for a fact. I know it definitely was not 9.
Could have
Oh
been.
wait, actually, how much was Obi-Wan?
6, I thought. What?
Obi-Wan was 6. Obi-Wan was
I was
6.
gonna say I thought Obi-Wan was 6. That's why I was saying 6. Um, 8 episodes, and it doesn't say how long the episodes are, or at least not from what I see so far. But I think it's because it's
Hmm.
not known. I would guess that average 45 minutes per episode, except for the season finale.
Yeah, between 30 to 40 minutes. Oh, okay. Book of Boba Fett was 7 episodes.
I knew it was something weird. I
Listen, you
just
said
added.
9.
I
I was
added
like,
more to the
that was
situation.
Wanda.
Oh, whatever. But that covered all
But
decades.
yeah. But definitely looking forward to it. Cannot wait to learn more about these fallen Jedi assassins, bounty hunters, whatever they are. I'm looking forward to Thrawn finally making his live action debut. I'm looking forward to seeing how much he's changed with how much time has passed.
And also
Um,
his loss,
yep,
his
how that's
major
affected
loss.
him. Um,
And also,
I'm looking.
how the hell did they not kill each other?
Well, they needed each other to survive.
Well, we don't know that.
That's
We're
the theory.
I know, but you get my point I'm making. I'm just saying, in general, we
um,
don't know what's happened.
no, we don't. We do not.
For all we
You
know,
were
they
correct.
literally left and ran away from each other. Like, no, don't touch me.
um, I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm just thrilled that you're going to be reading these books to get more perspective and seeing his character just get more in depth of him.
Yeah, we have oh, we have actually two more episodes of this before Ahsoka comes out,
Yep. So it's just enough to finish the Empire books.
which is fair.
Um,
Yeah, because I think I definitely underestimated how friggin' long these. And again, it's not so much the length, and maybe the other one will be smoother because it probably will flow better. But this one was like, I think it was it's not an insult to the writer. It's just more the fact of like, it was just broken up so much that I was just like, oh,
oh no, I mean it's definitely. I mean,
it was a tough
I
read.
mean for obviously for me it's a little bit different because I'm listening to it. For me, if I was reading it, it would take me like 3 weeks. So,
No, yeah, but I think the reason why it was so difficult for me was because it was so broken up, and it's like,
mhm.
where are we now type of thing, and
Oh, okay.
I feel like the next one, based on what I've read, basically because I read a little bit of the synopsis type of thing of like what the sequel's gonna look like. It
Hmm.
seems like it's gonna be a little bit smoother, I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think when it's smoother, for me, I can read a lot faster, and
No,
because
definitely.
it's
This
close.
this one definitely doesn't have as much jumping around. Like I said, it's gonna have flashbacks, but it
Yeah,
makes
but I think
sense for the
I was
part.
gonna say it must go smooth. Like I also don't think it's that much of it if I remember if I read it correctly, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna still read it. It's gonna be fun. All right, and we're saying about Ahsoka, which comes out August 23rd.
Yes,
Yep.
23rd.
Yes, August 23rd, and they'll be coming out once a week after that. All right, now let
Yep.
us move on to DC now. In DC, we're going to be talking about the. Actually, do you want to talk about the new character that was announced for Superman, or do you want to talk about the actors casted first?
Well, the actor was cast for the character.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Um, there's a theory behind it, which I will, which as
Well,
we're going through,
why don't we
I'll
start with him then? We already talked about him. Let's start.
all right.
Well, let's start
So
with
one
that
of
one
the
because this one is going to be the one you have to talk about because I only know of the character. I did not know about the actor.
okay. Um, one of the most recent characters that were cast in. So we're talking about the character casts that are coming for Superman Legacy, James Gunn's Superman movie. Um, we obviously they've been talking about how it's not going to be an origin story for Superman. It's going all the characters that are going to be introduced already are established superheroes. and we are just kind of jumping into the universe, kind of like how I mean they're basically kind of doing what Marvel did with with Spider-Man, how he was already an established hero. We're just finally getting more in depth into it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so one of the characters that are gonna that has been announced to appear in Superman Legacy, it is Metamorpho, and the actor is Anthony Carrigan.
Should I know who that is?
I recognize him. I don't remember what he's from. I just recognize him. They
Say his name
say,
again.
huh?
Say his name again.
Anthony Carrigan.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Carri.
Hmm. Continue. Sorry. He was in Gotham.
Was he? Is that where I recognize him from?
Um,
Oh, was he Zaz in Gotham?
Give me a second. I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure.
Because
Yep.
he looks like
Yes.
Zaz. Yeah. Okay, that's why I recognize him. There we go.
I'm like, don't ask me. I don't know yet. Yep. Okay, that makes sense.
But so they have Metamorpho. They announced aside for Superman, they have announced Blue Beetle. They have announced,
Well,
or no,
they,
Blue Beetle's not going to be in it. They just announced that he's
he's staying.
continuing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only thing. That, like they announced of like who has been casted for, because it sounds like the other characters are not gonna be in the movie. They're established characters that are gonna be somewhere else. Correct?
Um, I thought they were going to be in the movie, but you might be right. I might have misread it.
I didn't think all of them were. They might have cameos, but I thought.
Yeah, I think they're just doing cameos. I
Oh,
don't think
okay,
they're like
okay, okay. Then never mind. Then yes, I because
that's
I
that's what I'm
they're
that's
not
what
part
I'm
of the main plot. I know that.
no. From my understanding, I think they're just doing cameos. I might have been misreading it, and I just because I've
No,
been hearing
you're
these
right on that.
confirmations.
Because they
Um,
might be doing that to kind of show like future projects.
yeah. Um, so they've announced Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, and Green Lantern, specifically Guy Gardner. Um,
Let's talk about
now when it comes, huh?
let's talk about Guy Gardner first.
Yep. Guy Gardner, the actor that has been confirmed, is Nathan Fillion.
Hmm.
Um,
Who I am actually excited to see in that because
I didn't have an issue with it.
no, I think I'm just not gonna. First off, what I'm not gonna be a fan of is him actually looking like the character, meaning like they're gonna give him the bowl red, like the red bowl cut,
Hmm.
and but that's not a him thing. That's a I just don't like the character's haircut thing. Um, but I
I would so when no go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I think it fits for him because Ryder is kind of like that the kind of like jokester Green Lantern. Granted, he could be a tough guy when he needs to be, and I think Nathan
Hmm.
Fillion can do a great job with that. But he's also not a Green Lantern that's going to stay a Green Lantern for long. Because
Yep.
Nick Fillion is not young, um, and he's not going to be sticking with that character forever. But we
Yeah.
also know that that's not going to be the Green Lantern that lasts.
I was just curious what you thought about him getting cast for it because I'm seeing online like when I'm going through it, I'm seeing everyone was super thrilled for all the characters except for that one.
Well,
Uh,
so I'm not a fan of the character personally.
so no, they were excited to see Guy Gardner
I know
from what they're
no. I read
seeing.
what they were
They
saying. They didn't like the idea of Nathan being him,
yeah.
which doesn't make any sense to me. But I think it's just because James Gunn and him have done so much together. I think people are just kind of like I don't want to say pissed off with it.
Apparently James Gunn is getting a lot of crap for like always having the same actors in his movies.
Correct, and he's one of them,
Um,
and it's one of the
yeah,
things.
he's one of them. Apparently, he's getting a lot of crap for having his wife appear in his movies.
Yeah, and
Um,
also his brother.
oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm almost positive his brother or his cousin is the guy with the mohawk, the one that takes over for Yandu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that guy also does the physical movements of Rocket.
Yes, that I did see. I saw that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's his brother. I can't remember if it's his brother. It's related to him somehow.
Oh, I did not
Um,
know that. Okay.
so yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I mean, I get it because you're so used to these actors that they're no longer like you no longer see them as the characters they are. You see them as the actors because you just see them so much. I do get
Yeah.
that piece a little bit, but I think for me, it's like he's not known enough as an actor, in my personal opinion. Like, yes, he's been in some mainstream stuff lately, but realistically, he's not an actor that's known for a character. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
nothing against him as an actor, but like none of his characters are like no character he's created is so iconic that you can only see him. You know what I'm saying? That he, in
Absolutely.
my
No,
opinion, he can.
I agree with you. Um,
So like, I
that's the
don't see
thing
it as
about
a problem.
casting, like you said, that's the thing about casting big actors in new roles because it's like, you're just gonna see him from his previous role.
That's why Brad Pitt
Um,
ruined Deadpool 2, man. It was just too much.
yeah.
That and Terry Crews. Terry Crews, the two of them.
Oh, I love Terry Crews. I
No,
love
no,
him.
no. Terry Crews was great, but I honestly nothing against Terry Crews, but Brad Pitt stole the show.
Yeah. That was funny.
But
Oh, we need to talk about that as well. About Deadpool 3.
yeah, we'll talk about that in Marvel.
Yeah.
I did see the photos. Um, yeah, so I have no problem with that. So the characters I'm surprised they announced were Mr. Terrific and Hawk Girl. And the reason,
I was I was surprised by those two.
so like, I'm not against them casting them or anything. I just was, well, all right, Mr. Terrific, I just don't know well enough. Like, obviously,
Hmm.
Hawkgirl I know because I grew up on the Justice League, the animated show. So I do know Hawkgirl. But I feel like it just doesn't make sense based on what the projects that they've announced so far.
Yeah,
And Mr.
I
Terrific
I get you.
is, um,
Mr. Terrific is a tech guy.
yeah, but I'm looking him up myself.
So Mr. Terrific is played by Eddie Gathaji.
Who
I
doesn't
can't say
look
his name.
anything familiar to me.
He was in X-Men.
Who did he play? Did he play Darwin?
Yes. Oh, Mr. I don't know what he's in, and then you just get the character right there.
He's the. You really want me to say it? He was the only one of color in the X-Men movies.
Okay. I don't remember. It's been a while.
The only time we had somebody of color. I mean, well, technically you had Storm, but everyone knows Storm. Um,
Only person of color. Oh wait, except for this one.
well, no,
Really?
because you know what? I just think of Halle Berry as Halle Berry. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
think about it. You say
you're
Halle
making
Berry,
it
you say
sound so
Halle
much
Berry.
worse.
It does. It does.
I know.
It does.
You're making it so much worse.
I did. I did. And you know what? I'm sticking by it. Let the two viewers that watch this get mad at me. Um,
That's hilarious. Um, so I'm looking
listen,
forward
he
to it.
never forgets anything and has perfect recall. Interesting. He has PhD. Oh, 14 PhDs?
He was in the Flash TV show.
Well, not the actor.
No, the
14
character.
PhDs.
Yeah, he's smart.
And they only named, the thing that irritates me is they only named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them.
I thought you were gonna go up to 14.
No, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I really was getting nervous.
I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, they only named three," and then you started kept going. I'm like, this guy is gonna completely shut himself down.
Anyway, um,
But anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing him in a movie role because he kind of got shafted with X-Men First Class. Um, they completely
yeah,
did
they
the
ruined
character
that
dirty.
character. No, they definitely did not give him justice in that. Um, but
So I'm looking forward to
I also feel like
seeing his
at the same
potential in
time, I
this.
feel like they also didn't kill him off either. We've had this discussion before.
Yeah, we did. Um,
But that's
I
neither.
mean,
They
that's
never
a
did
whole
anything.
that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, and also too, it's not like we'll ever get to see him as that character again. But
No.
yeah, and then like I said, the Hawk Girl thing. I think all the actors look like the character for the most part. I think they all did a great job casting them.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific that I don't understand why they were announced.
And Hawk Girl is Isabella
Yeah, the only one I knew was Nathan Fillion,
Merced.
really.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I mean, technically I knew
I
John
knew
was, but
Mr. Terrific.
well, yeah, but I wouldn't have guessed it on my own.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, no, when you sent me the picture, none of them look familiar except for Fillion.
Yeah.
And also, Darwin's
I don't
character was
know.
so
Obviously, I don't know who Hawk Girl is, but
you know what I'm saying?
the actress.
No, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously, so I know Blue Beetle, so that's a lot. I knew Blue Beetle, but
Oh,
that's because I watched Cobra Kai,
yeah, yeah.
and that show's actually, ironically, that show's done after the newest season. So
Oh, so he's free now.
yeah, but
um.
I think it was announced that it was going to be the final season even before he got the role of Blue Beetle. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
it like worked out perfectly for him.
So the theory going around, seeing that we kind of talked about all these characters.
Although, didn't they also hold on before we go anywhere? I know you're.
Hmm.
Didn't they also have um, Lois Lane? They have Lois Lane
Yes.
casted, so it is
Yes.
six. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, then technically there's seven.
Wait, it's Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, Blue Beetle, Superman. That's five.
Metamorpho, six.
Oh, okay. But he was okay.
Lois Lane is seven.
Seven. Okay, I got you now. I wasn't
Um,
counting the other guy. Sorry.
Metamorpho. So the theory going around is that we have Metamorpho announced and we have Mr. Terrific announced. People are thinking they might announce they might add Plastic Man and they might add Phantom Girl because those four make
Outsiders.
the Terrifics.
Oh.
So that's the theory going on right now. Obviously, we'll see. This is still 2 years away,
Well,
so
I
we'll
think
see what happens.
the other issue for me is the fact that they're announcing them without telling us where they're going to be,
Hmm.
and I think that makes me a little worried.
No, I mean, yeah. No, no, no. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going through it right now, actually, really quick. Uh, Hawkgirl has been cast in Superman Legacy, so they will be appearing in it. Like I said, I'm assuming it's going to be a cameo. I don't think there's going to be major roles because, I mean,
It wouldn't.
as I've said,
Yeah, it wouldn't. It would be stupid of them to make the same mistakes they did before. Um,
exactly. I don't think James Gunn is going to make that mistake.
I would hope he won't.
His movies have been killing it.
No, I
So
agree.
I mean,
Um, is it true that they're keeping the Suicide Squad together, or is that just a rumor?
so that's a rumor.
Okay,
The
so it's
only thing
not
that's
confirmed.
confirmed, the only thing that's
Amanda
officially
Waller.
confirmed is Amanda Waller
Okay.
and Peacemaker.
Yes, yes. But what was funny was
Um,
Amanda Waller was confirmed well before Peacemaker.
Yes.
which I thought was
James
interesting.
Gunn James Gunn actually only just recently announced Peacemaker because he said that some
It's
people
coming
were
season
asking him on
two, yeah.
Twitter saying like, "Oh, what's going on with season 2?" And he said as soon as Superman Legacy is done,
He'll
he's
go
going to
right
start
into it.
writing season 2. So that's confirmed. Um, Obviously, we don't know like what's going on with Harley Quinn. We don't know what's going on with
Barbie now.
yeah. um, we don't
Um,
know what's going on like with Bloodsport or Deadshot. I think Harley Quinn is gonna stay, or
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie is gonna be staying as Harley Quinn.
But I think it's all going to
Uh,
depend. So,
it's just
like,
not confirmed.
yeah, I think the other thing too, it's all going to depend on how young they make Batman.
True. I mean, Margot Robbie doesn't exactly look old.
I mean, also true.
I
No, no, you're
I
right.
don't think. I mean, if they cast a Batman that's like 25, I don't think she's real. Like she would look out of place.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of like longevity. But no matter what, I mean, she wouldn't be playing Harley Quinn for another 20 years anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we
Um,
really don't know.
yeah, valid. But I'm just thinking longevity. Because they're trying to.
I would love to see her, Margot Robbie come back as Harley Quinn. I thought she was a great Harley Quinn.
I think my
Um,
issue and this is just a me thing, where it's like when they
do you
cast.
think she's too big?
No, 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 no. I think she's reminds everyone too much of the old universe.
True.
That's more.
No, I agree with that.
And I'm like, and it's not that I want somebody else to be Harley Quinn. I do not. I'm just stating like it's a tough thing because it's like, as much as I would like her to stay, is it really a good benefit to keep her because of that reminder of what you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, does that
But
mean
then, but then, but then you're gonna go into the same territory as Amanda Waller because the same Amanda Waller is the same.
yeah, but she's a Rhode Islander. I'm okay with it.
You hypocrite.
100%. Rhode Islanders gotta stick together.
um, it's there are some characters that it's like I want to see come back, but at the same time I totally understand the need for a hard reset.
You know what it is too? I
Um,
was also gonna say I don't like Amanda Waller has been in what is like I feel like out of all the characters, she would be the least one I'd be worried about of reminding myself of the old universe.
yeah. So the thing with Amanda Waller, which I like, I agree with you on that. The thing, like the benefit of that is that the universe that the movie that she's more well known in is the newest Suicide Squad,
True.
which is possibly related is going to be tied into the new universe.
I mean, technically, then what we can then say is she can, because if we're keeping Peacemaker in,
Yep,
then Margot Robbie, there's no reason why she can't be.
exactly.
All right, so I'm not against it. I don't think I was against it to begin with. I'm just thinking of the more you add of like the old actors, the more
The
it's gonna,
harder it's going to be to break away.
yeah, yeah. That's my concern because I don't want people to think about the old stuff. I want them to only think
Hmm.
about the new stuff. And
Yeah.
I would think, and even though I do like Viola Davis's Amanda Waller because she was phenomenal.
Oh, killed it.
No, I agree 100%. The you know what's funny? The woman who was actually in contention with her was the one who voiced her a lot in a lot of the animated movies.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Um, in fact, I didn't realize that she actually voiced her. The act because I've seen the actress before, and I thought, oh, she'd play a great Amanda Waller,
That's
not
because she did.
realizing she already did. She was in the two Suicide Squad movies. Um,
Oh, okay.
so the voice actress for that, she yeah she I mean obviously Viola Davis beat her out for whatever the reason, but I mean,
Not complaining.
no, 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 not at all. But I'm just saying in general, it's like not that I want Viola Davis to be replaced, but if they needed to, it's not like they don't have somebody who couldn't fill the shoes, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and I feel like it. I don't know because James Gunn's got a tough job, and I know I've said this 1,000 times, but like he needs to plan it out perfectly. And
yep.
my fear is keeping anybody from the old stuff is tough, and that's the same thing with Peacemaker too. As much as I love the guy, maybe it would be better not to have another season because it reminds them too much of when he started bad mouthing the Justice League.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough because it's not like I personally I would love and wanting a season two. I'm not arguing that. I'm just thinking of like the thought process of how the world works because we deal with dumb people out there, and
yeah.
I don't want it ruined because people are just tanking it because, well, they had the actor from the old movie in the new movie, and how can it be the different universe when it doesn't make any sense when they're in the new universe, but was it the old universe always? And it's like, man, just watch the movie and shut up.
I know. No, no. I mean, it's a tough line,
Well, he's got a tough
especially because
job,
the
and I've
Rube.
said that from the beginning. He's got to literally dig this whole entire franchise, which don't get me wrong, Justice League should be able to pay for itself, in the sense of like the roster he has should pay for itself.
Hmm.
So there should be no reason, like he should have no issue
It
character wise, but like
so
he's got to deal with issues that are well beyond his control.
the real issue right now is the way he's starting it off. So right now, starting it off with Superman. Superman is a big name that should make money. That like he that's a character that should draw numbers.
Correct. But I think the other
As long
issue.
as it's hyped correctly. The problem is the other characters. Like I'm looking forward to Blue Beetle, but
I am too.
what'd you do? Oh. But the issue is that Blue Beetle is not a well-known character. It's a
Um,
very unknown character. So at the end of the
I'm
day, that
arguing
might
that.
not make
I'm
it's
arguing that.
not going to draw a big crowd.
I'm arguing that one.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm arguing that one because I think he's become much more mainstream recently in all of the shows, video games, and such.
There's a difference between becoming more mainstream and becoming a well-known name. Just because he makes appearances and that stuff doesn't mean he's not on the level of Superman.
No, no, no. I will agree to that. What I'm getting at is I think he's much more well known than you realize because they've made his suit so accurate that I think people will recognize him and know enough of him. Meaning like, oh my god, he was in the Injustice game.
Okay, what about well then my counter argument to that is Shazam.
What about Shazam?
Shazam is becoming more mainstream as well, and his two movies like the first one technically made budget, but the second one was a flop.
But the second one could be argued because of the stuff that was going on at DC.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean
I'll give you that.
that is a tough one to you know what I'm saying? That's a tough comparison because that was in a very specific time where a lot of people didn't want to watch any DC movie because at that point he had canceled the Snyderverse
Hmm.
and everyone cried
Well,
about that.
well now what's the difference between the Blue Beetle? Because I mean, we're Blue
He
Beetle
was
comes out.
never so like Blue Beetle was not part of the universe at all. Like at least
No,
with
no, no. So,
Shazam,
so
Storm.
what I mean is, like, I'm going off of people are tired of seeing DC stuff. So right now we just had two DC movies that flopped,
Mhm.
and now literally
Okay,
like
so you're all
one
right. So
month
you're
ago.
so you're
So
all
what
right.
I'm
So
saying is now, like I'm saying, like Blue Beetle, like people don't really know who he is, and there's this DC fatigue. How is he gonna do?
I think
It could be that because it's a brand new character,
I
people are more willing to go see it.
and I'm gonna sound awful saying this, but it's a Hispanic lead. People know
Are you
him.
saying that's against it or
No,
better?
that's for it. People are going to be
No.
more willing to go see it. Um, People who know, you know what I'm saying? We're also going to see. I mean, you got George Lopez in it, right? You're going to see again, as weird as it sounds, that pulls people in.
No, you're right.
It's action packed, right? It's got a suit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's also
Seems funny.
exactly. I feel like it's going to be probably catered more towards kids, and meaning like kids pushing to go see it is more of what I'm getting at.
Yep.
I just think because his suit is so comic book accurate that people are gonna be recognizing him, maybe not knowing who he is, but recognizing him. And I think that's gonna
Okay.
be enough because it's just enough unknownness. Like look at Shang Chi. I know I'm paying apples and oranges, but like nobody knew who that was.
No, I mean the unfortunately the like you said, comparing apples and oranges.
No, I know, I know.
The MCU was at the
MCU was
height
doing
of
well.
its.
Correct. No, no. MCU was doing really well. Although it came off one of the biggest flops of all time, which was Black Widow.
I wouldn't say Black Widow was a flop.
Comparatively to other movies, yes.
It didn't do well,
Compared.
but it wasn't a flop.
All right, fair enough. I will make that statement. It was not the most. It was one of the least liked and viewed movies of the MCU.
Yes. Yep.
Because I think
It was at the time it was the least well received MCU
I think
movie.
it still is.
Is it worse than Thor?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? No, I thought it was better. I thought Thor was still considered the worst. Actually, I think Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man actually is considered the worst now.
Is it? I hate people. But anyway,
Because Ant-Man really did not do well.
I know, but it was so good. It was so good. I think it had to do more with the controversy.
That wasn't that didn't that came up after. I think the movie no, that came up after.
No, it came out after the movie was already made, but it didn't. It happened before the movie came out. I'm almost positive
Are you
that the
sure?
allocations came.
No, no, it was after because I think I'm pretty sure it was after. People didn't start hearing about it until it was close to coming out on Disney Plus.
Anyway, interesting. Okay,
Well, either way,
it doesn't matter.
not important.
No, no, it's not important. But anyway, my point I'm making is I thought it was right before. But anyway, um, I don't know either.
No, the issue with Ant-Man was people were complaining about the CGI. They weren't happy with the CGI, and
Really?
they thought, yeah, they were, a lot of people were not happy with it. And and then the other thing
I
was
know
they thought
I know they weren't happy
people,
that Ant Man beat Kang technically.
yep, yep, they don't see Ant-Man as like an Avengers level hero, even though he is an Avengers level hero.
I agree,
um,
but
but
whatever.
then also the other thing too is like they just thought it was like the comedy like it didn't they people thought it wasn't like it didn't flow, it felt forced kind of. It was it was the same thing with Thor. People weren't happy with the comedy for Thor, and they were saying it was the same thing with Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird to me that people have a problem with it because that's how people actually react to trauma.
Oh, for Thor, yes.
No, I meant for both.
Oh well, yeah, yeah.
Like that's how
Yeah,
people react in tragedy, you know what I mean? And not everyone does. I'm not arguing that piece, but like I would imagine people who have the the hero chops to step in and do something, that they're more willing to joke about it because, well, guess what? I'm gonna have to do it anyway.
yeah. No, I mean you're right. Yeah, I mean I understand that like the comedy of Thor, like I totally understood
Oh, I
it.
agree. I
Yeah,
thought it
but
had.
I know like a lot of people didn't like it because of that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We've talked about this before. It definitely wasn't the best Thor movie of all time. It was definitely second in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, it was tough to. First off, it's tough to compete with Ragnarok. First off,
yeah.
I mean, nobody
That was my whole thing with it. That was my whole thing with this store is that people were trying to compare it to Ragnarok and it
you
wasn't.
couldn't. No, I mean, my
Yeah,
complaint for it was had to do with the fact that we didn't have enough scenes with Gore, where he
yep,
actually killed gods.
yep,
I think we needed more of that personally, but I think there were a lot of scenes of his that were cut.
yeah. Anyways, we're not on Marvel yet. Back to DC.
Well, aren't we done with DC? Because that we went over them.
Oh well, if we're done with them, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is I have no problem with the casting. They all look correct.
Yep,
Our issue is just
I'm looking forward to
our
it.
issue is just the ones that they've casted from the old stuff that might cause a problem in the future. But that's only time will tell. All right, let us move on to Marvel. Um, what before we move on? What did you have to say?
Well, I mean, no, it was kind of. I mean, it was just the trailer for Blue Beetle, but nah.
I thought it was excellent. It's
Yeah.
definitely more action packed. It showed a lot more. It showed us the villain, who I don't remember who he is, villain wise, meaning like the actual character.
Yeah, I don't.
Something is
I don't know Blue Beetle super well. Um, so I don't know who he is in the universe.
Chromius per. Anyway, something's clicking in my head, but I don't think it's the right character. But anyway, yeah. So let's talk about Secret Invasion 2, 3, and 4. Um, I don't think I can. I don't think
Plot.
I don't think I can talk about these episodes in order.
I mean, they really just like looking back at it, it's like they really blended together.
Yes,
Um,
but like I agree with you that it was a lot.
yeah,
I mean, I'm going to say some highlights, and we're going to talk about it.
okay,
Um,
yeah.
when did you think? When do you think Rhodes was taken taken in and made a scroll, or a scroll took him over?
I
I have my
I
thought.
have no idea.
I think it was.
I mean,
I think it was during the blip.
yeah, that's what I'm seeing is that everyone has been like, oh, so he's been a scroll since the blip or since Endgame,
Yeah,
but it's like
but I don't know when. Like, it had to have been after Endgame.
it had to be after Endgame because he was with
But I
them.
feel like it also had to be after Falcon and Winter Soldier.
He was still crippled in that, right?
He was still purple,
Crippled.
crippled. I believe so. Although we never saw his equipment, but it could have been under his clothes anyway.
Did in Winter Soldier didn't we see him with the walking cane?
Possibly, but I don't think he was really using it. He might have been. He might have been.
That's
But what I'm getting at is I don't think he was a scroll. Then is the point I'm making. So I'm agreeing with you.
oh okay. Well,
Like,
no, no, I'm just that would be my reasoning. So if he was still with the walking cane in Falcon and Winter Soldier, then I don't think he was a scroll then. But if he didn't have the walking cane, then there was more of a chance of him being a scroll then. Is That's what I was
no,
getting
and I
at.
agree with you. But no, I think it had to be sometime after that. But I feel like they gotta show it. They
Yeah.
gotta flashback.
No,
They
they
gotta
have to.
show it. I
Because so now that leads back to episode one with I'm blanking on his name. When did he become a scroll?
well, that's the whole thing. Or was he a scroll all along? That's
Yeah.
because like we didn't know because he didn't really act out of character.
No. He really didn't.
Where
No, he like he it really did fit.
I know War Machine was acting a little bit out of character. We believed it in the first time we see him and how he talks to Nick Fury, but at the same
Hmm.
time, it was
Until he
slightly out
calls
of
him
character.
Nick.
Yeah, it definitely the second interaction was definitely much more out of character.
Yeah.
But the first time was just subtle enough that we kind of passed it off as like he's actually getting his butt chewed out for having Nick Fury being around
Yep. Like him calling him Nick. Like when it happened on like when it happened, I didn't think anything of it
until that
because
episode.
of because of like you said, he's getting his ass chewed out because he is, Nick Fury's around and he's, in trouble for it. So I'm like, okay, he's actually pissed. So he's trying to make a point by calling him Nick instead of calling him Fury. Like he's trying to
Yes.
piss him off. But then, now it makes sense because after what was it, episode 3, when he was when the Talos was held hostage from the other scroll for the nuclear code or whatever, and he comes in and he's like, nobody calls me Nick, and I'm like, ah, man, we're going like this.
Yeah. But even then, I didn't catch on. You know what I'm saying? Like I
No,
still. It,
that was when I started like, oh no.
no, you know when I really thought of it was, um, and actually, you know what? It wasn't as awful as it sounds. I don't think it was until he was in church.
Really?
I think it took me
Okay.
until church because I was so dead set that she was meeting with the scrolls,
Gravik.
which yes, which she was, but I was like, when I saw him, I was like, oh, she's working for the U.S. government. Like that was my first thought, and I was like, oh, she's working for the U.S. government. Like, all right, here we go. And it's like you need to kill Nick, and I was like, oh no, he's a scroll.
Oh, okay.
Um,
All right.
I will say this too. So speaking of his wife, did you think he knew that she was a scroll?
When they first kissed,
When we first were introduced to her.
when the first scene
Yes.
happened when they kissed. Um, I wasn't sure. I was not sure.
See, because we had that flashback of what's his name, Garrick. Garrick, is that his name?
Gravik,
Gravik. Thank you.
Gravik.
Um, and we see the little boy, like his entire family was killed, and he was brought to Earth. And that
Yep.
woman that was next to him, I thought was the same scroll that was in the house with Fury, who then transformed into the Black Woman.
Oh, okay.
So I thought
I didn't pay close enough attention.
I thought he knew because of the interaction they had together. So I thought he
Yeah.
knew. Obviously, I was wrong. That he didn't know. Um, that was a roller coaster in itself. She was like, "Yeah, I talked to the woman. She gave me 3 ultimatums I had to do, she was going to allow me to keep her going when she died. Well, what were the 3 things? I had to I had to bury her at sea, which I did. I had to be a mother to her parent. I mean, I had to be a daughter to her parents." And Nick's like, "You did?" "Yes, I did." And then he's like, "Well, what's the third?" "I had to not hurt you, and I'm sorry." Uh,
Yep.
and then when they shot each other,
No, that was funny.
I'm like, I don't know whether we should be getting a divorce or renewing our vows.
Yep. That was funny. That was really funny.
And I just like how he's like, "Are you worried about yourself?" She goes, "No, I can handle myself. You do what you need to do. I can survive this."
Um,
Where did
yeah, no, that was a hilarious interaction with the gunshot. That
well,
was I just
I honestly, so I was super sad leading up to it because I'm like, one of them's gonna kill the other, and I'm like, I know that
and obviously it wasn't Fury.
no,
I thought she was gonna die.
I 100% agree with you, 100% agree with you. And then when she missed, I mean when he missed, and he hit the thing behind her, I was like, no. I for a split second I was like, I didn't think she killed him. but I thought she shot him. Like, actually shot him.
Hmm.
I definitely didn't think he was going to be dead for obvious reasons.
Yep.
But the fact that she missed too, I was like, oh, they were both testing each other. And was
um,
not prepared for that.
so going back, so I don't, so like going, you asking me if he knew that she was a scroll.
Hmm.
I still think he knew. Whether he knew all along, I don't know. Like the story of just how she took the person, like like what I mean is like how long did he know? Or are you saying were you asking me like how long, like did he know all along or did he just find out?
Yeah, it was how like did he just find out that she was? Because like I knew he found out she was a scroll when she was talking to whoever was on the phone. But what I'm getting at
Yeah.
is, did he know from the beginning when they first met? Is more of what I'm getting at. Because it's more of the betrayal, like because that changes the betrayal, in the sense of like he always knew she was a scroll, but at the same time he must not have because she said, "If I would have shown my true form, would you have still loved me?" And he stops, thinks about it, and is about to walk away, and goes and says the most honest answer anybody could say, and he goes, "I guess we'll never know."
So
So he must not have known.
so no. So I'm taking that as a different way because the scrolls were so the whole thing with this is the scrolls before coming to Earth. Remember the council meeting? They said the lady said we got annihilated not because we weren't willing to fight, but because we were too willing to fight. So I'm taking that as before she met Fury, they were war hungry. They wanted to fight. They wanted to kill. And when Fury came along, they were accepting of finding peace and trying to become a peaceful species. And joining back up with Gravik, they are becoming a war hungry species again.
Okay.
That's how I took it. So when she said, "Do you think you would have loved me before?" Because when they were talking,
No, you're taking it from.
she said
You're
I
taking it
became
worse.
myself again,
Yeah.
who I was before, as in a war hungry scroll,
Okay. Okay. Now I
a
understand.
killer scroll.
Now I know what you're talking about. Okay, that's fair. I think I think they do such a great job of this. We will never know, or we won't know until they decide to tell us. Like
Yeah,
they
unless they literally spell it out.
yeah. I think this show has done such a great job that we have no idea what's going to happen, and
Hmm.
and we don't know who's a scroll and who's not fully.
No,
And now when I say
I'll
that,
be honest. I will be honest. When the Super Scroll stabbed Talos, I didn't realize that was a Super Scroll.
well, I definitely wouldn't have thought it was a super scroll, but I knew it had to have been somebody because it was the same guy who yelled at him saying it was a scroll or an alien.
Yeah.
So I felt like he wouldn't have grabbed him. So like, soon as Nick Fury pulls the gun on him, I was like, oh, okay, it's a scroll. But then when he shoots him in
Oh
the
yeah.
face, and then I realized, oh no, nope, it's a super scroll. And then
I thought it was interesting because I know that you said the Super Scroll is the Fantastic Four, and in this
it's not.
he has Groot's power. I just thought that was interesting.
Well, we can't say it's really Groot's power. It's similar, but it remember his green. He's naturally green skinned.
Well, I thought when he shot his arm out, I thought that was brown. That's why I thought it was Groot. I thought it literally became a tree limb.
No, it turned green. It turned more green because of his skin. Because he has to use his
Oh, was it
natural.
green?
He has to use like his
Oh,
natural
okay.
skin color or whatever, or he can't. It's something to do with the fact that he can't be camouflaged when using that power. So like that part of
You know,
it,
I understand where you're coming from now. Like now that you're saying that, I understand it. When I first saw it, I thought it was Brown, so I thought it was Groot.
yeah, I don't know whose power that is because I mean it could be Groot's, but it would make more sense. Actually, all joking aside, it would actually make more sense that it is Groot because his name comes up in one of the machines.
Oh, did it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I would argue that it's the Groot species, not Groot himself, but yes.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a few
No,
others.
yeah, yeah.
There was a few others too, and like the healing factor is what throws me off because I don't know anybody with that. I would argue the Hulk, but that would
How are you gonna get a Hulk?
well because you got to think of healing factor, right? Who right
Hmm.
in the MCU, the only one that has an instantaneous healing factor is the Hulk.
No, I know, but I'm saying like, how would they get
No,
it?
that's I agree with you, but technically, if they've infiltrated everywhere, including Shield, there would have been Hulk blood on the helicarrier.
True. Um,
But yeah, that's
Personally, my favorite cameo in episode 4 was all of the wrestler name drops.
yeah,
I was laughing when I heard that. When I heard that, I was laughing.
yeah, they're an interesting group. Um, I really thought his Talos's daughter Gaia was dead in episode 3.
I did not. I thought she was gonna live.
Well, hear me out. I thought she was gonna live, but I didn't think that she was gonna be a Super Scroll.
No. So like when she got shot,
I don't
I
think
was
she
like, okay,
died.
she's definitely not
Yeah.
dead.
No, I'll agree
I
to you
was
on
like,
that.
how are they gonna do this? And then obviously they explained it, and I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, it makes sense that she covered herself, which she would do.
Smart.
No, I agree. I'm just stating that I would have not guessed that.
No, and obviously we didn't.
No. Do you
um,
think Talos is dead? It's tough, right? Because my automatic reaction is yes. But I've said that to every single death. But at the same time, I've questioned it at the same time. So it's like it could go either way. He's definitely mortally wounded. We know that.
yeah, I, I I don't want him to be,
But it's
but
not
I
good.
think he is. Yeah, I think he is. I mean, he literally got stabbed in the heart.
And
So
it would make more sense of why Gaia would then fight Gralek because they both now have Super Scroll abilities. It would make more
yep,
sense for her to be on Nick Fury's side if her father had been killed by him.
yep.
But I agree with you. I liked him too
She
much.
was. She's like she said. She's fighting for because of him. So if he dies, if he got killed, it would influence her even more to avenge his death.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
yeah, that was a big one too. Nick Fury, how do you feel about him?
it's really weird seeing him broken.
It's really weird me seeing him old.
Oh, yeah,
Like
no, old and broken.
yeah, no, I agree with
It's
you. I feel like it's. I mean, they mention it in the show a lot. That's for sure. Um,
oh yeah, they're making us know he's.
yeah. Um, but I mean, he still can kick butt, but it's not as easy for him. I'm
No,
also curious at where he came up with his security guard to get the president. Like, where did those people come from?
yeah,
That threw me off. I'm not gonna lie to you. And he kept getting more reinforcements, and I'm like, where is he getting these people? He's supposed to be fired.
yeah, seriously.
I mean that messes with me a little bit. But that's a minor thing.
He might still have connections. I mean, just because he got fired doesn't mean he still doesn't know
It
people.
also
I
doesn't
mean,
mean that they're
obviously
not.
he knows people
I
because,
mean, look at the English woman.
yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was about to say.
it
Yeah.
very well could have been her stuff. I mean, he probably would have had to have apologized again, but She was interesting. She was definitely interesting, especially with the torture.
Oh yeah. Oh, that
You,
was good. That was really
you
good.
all may leave now. I have work to do. All right, so here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna start cutting off little fingers, and when I see something out, and she cuts off his finger and it turns green, she goes, "Oh, well, it seems like I'm correct. Now let us enjoy ourselves." And she stabs him with the thing, and he's like melting, and she's like, "It's okay.
Yeah, that's I don't I that made me uncomfortable, I'll be honest.
Would you like
I don't
another
know.
dose?" It's very
Oh.
uncomfortable, I hear. But I like how she went in there saying, "Where's the escape hatch?"
Yep, just like let me know like something's gonna go wrong. Where is it? That yeah, no, I like her character. I want to know more about her. I want to know.
That's a big thing. So she's a big actress in England. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I mean, her biggest thing in America right now is she plays Queen Elizabeth in The Crown on Netflix. But
Oh,
that's
okay.
an American thing. She's big in Europe. Um,
No.
I mean, she's an excellent actress, but I mean, in general, like that's what I think America knows her as more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a great. She normally does like, I mean, obviously dramatic roles, but I think she's done a lot of comedy stuff too, more in Europe than anything else. Um, and she's quite funny as well as being serious.
Mm.
And I definitely think I mean, she plays an excellent part without a doubt. I like her character. I just don't know anything about her character.
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
that's like my only thing I have a problem with is like we don't know who she is, but she knows Nick. Which does it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense because let's be honest, everyone knows Nick Fury, especially after the event.
I mean, they're both secretive ancients. So.
Yeah. And I would yeah, exactly right. But anyway, yeah, I definitely like these episodes. I'm curious at how many others are going to become Super Scrolls
Yep.
because I feel like that's going to play a factor in it. I'm also curious to seeing the full extent of the Super Scroll because we really haven't seen much.
We've only seen he's an insane
Healing
healing
factor
factor,
and stretchable
and he can
ability in
stretch.
some way. Whether it's
Yep.
Mr. Fantastic, Groot, or whatever, we don't know that.
Yep.
But it's something along those lines. Yeah, I'm definitely curious about it. I'm also curious at what's going to happen, like at the end of this, when they release the humans that were under mind control.
Yeah. How are they going to reintroduce him into the world? Well, technically they've already done it once, so
Yeah, but somebody wasn't pretending to be them and doing stuff.
yeah.
That's a huge factor.
No, I know. It'll be interesting. We'll have to see what happens,
Yeah, I'm
obviously.
curious. I'm curious about that. But overall, I'm excited about it. I mean, there's only 2 episodes left.
Yeah. I'm liking it. I'll be honest. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't a fan of them making Rhodey a scroll.
So, to me, it makes more sense based on how they portrayed him in this.
So the way they portrayed him, it makes sense.
But
I'm
I
just
agree with
not a
you.
fan of it.
But it would also explain why he's not been in an armor.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. That actually, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense because
Because
he's hung
he
up.
would have made sure he would
Yeah,
have had it, some sort of armor on him.
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, whenever he's gone and done these guarding the president, he would have been in armor. Absolutely, you're
Yeah,
right.
so I definitely agree. So like it makes sense for the story. I'm
Hmm.
curious at how they got him.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm curious when this happened. Yeah.
Because let's be
That's the whole thing is like you don't know when this is taking like when things started lining
I
up.
feel like we're gonna know next episode though, because they've now introduced the fact that he is a scroll. We're gonna one of two things that we're gonna get first. Either Talos is either dead or alive for sure. We're gonna get that confirmed first, and then I think the next thing after that is going to be how Rhodes got scrollified.
Yeah.
Because we know for a
No,
fact
definitely.
he's not
We're,
been a
yeah.
scroll since Iron Man 1. We know that.
Yeah,
There's no way.
definitely not.
There's no way they would have played the long game on that one because if so, he would have definitely still had his suit while dealing with this stuff.
Yeah,
Even you know what I'm saying. Even so, the scroll had to have taken him after Endgame, possibly after Falcon and Winter Soldier.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm curious
definitely.
about that one, and I'm curious about who else is a scroll.
Hmm. Absolutely.
But
Yeah, like you said, anybody could be a scroll. So,
absolutely. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next two episodes, which we'll talk about the final two episodes in the next podcast. All right, so we're going to move on to the two things that we always talk about. Oh no, no, no! You're right. We have to talk about briefly about Deadpool 3. Um,
yep,
and what are your thoughts on Wolverine's outfit?
it's definitely a change.
So,
It's cool seeing a comic accurate costume. It's just it's weird seeing it on Hugh Jackman.
so first off, I agree with you. I do like it, but the rumor is that we're going to get the original X-Men as well.
Yep,
And the rumor,
I'm hearing that.
when the rumor was announced before they showed Hugh Jackman in his outfit, the rumor was that they would all be in their comic book classic outfits. And Wolverine is in it, meaning like in his comic book accurate costume.
Yep.
So it would make sense that everyone else's would be as well. So
Yeah.
it's so they. I don't know if you've seen like it's not really a fan thing. I mean, I guess it would be considered a fan thing, but it's kind of like a, a concept art of what it would look like. And Halle Berry in her in like the origin like the '90s Storm outfit. Um,
I haven't seen it, but that would be
we
cool.
have Cyclops in the full blue jumpsuit.
Uh-huh.
Jean Grey with the most of her face covered. Um, and who was the other one?
Uh,
Was it Hank?
um,
No.
Professor X.
Yeah.
Professor X.
No. No. No.
No?
No.
I mean,
He was
I think he was confirmed.
yes, but he was not part of the outfits that they showed because
Oh,
it was
okay.
Cyclops, it was Jean Grey, it was Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm, and there was another one. And I'm trying to remember who it was, and it's gonna bother me. It wasn't Iceman. It wasn't Rogue. It wasn't. It's gonna bother. Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? I can freaking see the.
What's his powers?
I can't remember.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, it's gonna bother me. But yeah, so it's they were showing them in their comic. Maybe it was Wolverine I saw, which is stupid. So maybe it was just those three, and then it was Hugh Jackman. Because the idea was they were showing them in their comic book accurate costume from like the '90s, and that's where their costumes are supposed to be based off of, on whatever universe they're in.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. I'm not
And
complaining
the
about that.
actors from the original X-Men too.
Yeah. Yeah, that I've heard.
Yeah.
Because I know what's his name? Professor X is going to be in it.
Yes,
Um,
but I don't think he's gonna have the outfit like all the others. I think he's just wearing his natural suit,
no, no, no.
which does not ruin anything.
No. I know that they have the original Fox Daredevil cast. They've announced them. Not all of them.
But are they gonna
Uh,
be in Daredevil 3?
I think that yeah, the like Electra is in it. They've confirmed she's in it.
Jennifer Gardner's gonna be in it?
Um,
Oh yes. No,
yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
You're right because they made a joke. They made a joke about it's not a Project Adam. It's actually Deadpool 3 cast because she was in Project Adam with him.
Oh, that's funny.
The Incredible Hulk too. Bruce Banner.
Oh, he's actually confirmed.
I thought the cast of of Project Adam was confirmed,
Oh, okay.
and he was part of the
I
cast.
didn't
But I don't know how he would fit.
I didn't realize that everybody was. I had only heard about Jennifer Gardner. Um,
I'm curious.
and then I started seeing the fan theories of all like the Daredevil cast coming back. So
I mean,
plus Hulk.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I don't know. I think if anything, it would make sense that it would only be cameos. Um,
Yeah.
like kind of like they did with X Force, like make a big hype
Hmm.
about it and then they just kill them off. Yeah, I'm curious about what they're gonna do. I mean, shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Huge Deadpool fan ever since I first played X-Men Legends 2: Rise of Apocalypse, and then Ultimate Alliance 1, where you got to play as Deadpool. Um, Mostly due to the fact that when you played as Deadpool in the games, if you did like, he would be like, "Heal me, press the Z button. I need the heals." And I'm out of energy. Could you give me some energy packs? He was obviously very meta for obvious reasons, but as a kid, I didn't know why. Like he'd
Hmm.
be like, "Okay, player one, I'd like to move sometime today, or at least save the game and shut me off." Um, like stuff like that would be said. Same thing with like Ultimate Alliance One. He would talk about like cheat codes, like, "Hey, did you get me through the cheat code? Because that's the only way you'd get me if you did." Um, or something along the lines of like, there was something like, you had to do something. He's like, "Don't cheat like you did to get me," or something like that. Um,
Nice.
because the only way you got him was through doing like like beating the game on hard, and nobody did that. So you just used the cheat code to get him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, there you
but
go.
yeah, so I've always been a big Deadpool fan, even before I truly knew who Deadpool was. Because remember, I just got the
Yeah.
kid version of him. Uh,
Hmm.
and now seeing him um, be on the big screen as Ryan Reynolds has just been great. And very much looking forward to what they do with him in future projects because we know Deadpool 3 will not be the end of him.
No, no, they can't. No, no. I'm
I
looking
think it'll
forward
be
to it
his
because of
last
the fact
solo
that we
project, though.
now have a.
His
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're probably going to stick with the three. I mean, most of the movies have all been threes. So,
No, I agree, but
but
that's my point I'm making. I'm saying like in general, like I'm feeling like that's going to be his end of him being alone.
it really depends on the success of the movie as well, though.
Valid.
Like, if it is a huge success, they'll milk it.
Well, I'm also wondering too. I think it might be. I think they might do TV shows with him instead because they'd be
Yeah,
able
it's
to do a lot
possible. I mean,
more.
the thing with him is like you said, you can do a lot more with him because of him being able to just
It's gonna
do
come down
whatever
to
he wants.
money. It's gonna come down to money.
Yeah,
Just like Hugh Jackman, we thought he was done. Look at him.
yeah. I mean, I know he wanted to do a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, but
Uh,
once Logan was done, he was kind of like, "I'm done," because like
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds had been asking him for like since Deadpool 1, and he was like,
yep.
"No, no,
Hmm.
no."
I'm glad he said yes. I'm glad. I cannot wait.
Well, I think it's the perfect timing because I
Yeah,
don't think Ryan Reynolds was the only one that asked him. I think Kevin
I
Feige
mean,
was like, "Come on, you know the fan.
you got to do it. You got to do it.
How much money are we talking? Do you want to retire for real?" You know what I'm saying? Like, because yeah, they're gonna that movie's gonna do fine even if the movie is awful.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's gonna make budget without a problem. The hype of it,
No. Yeah.
the hype of
No,
it,
no, 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 no.
the,
It's gonna be fine.
yeah.
Just the fact that they're bringing the original X-Men cast back is going
Honestly,
to.
Hugh Jackman alone.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the others will be cool, and I'm not arguing that. But like realistically, Hugh Jackman alone, everyone's like, no, 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 you do what you need to do. You know, draw him back
Yeah.
from
No,
the
that's gonna get a crowd no matter what.
yeah.
That's going to get a crowd.
Yeah, I mean, especially with
Um,
all like the fan posters of like Deadpool with his arm cut off while Wolverine slams the claw into his skull.
yeah. And it's gonna be like it's not gonna be PG-13. It's going to be rated R. So it's gonna be
Oh, so that is confirmed.
that's Yeah, it is confirmed. They
Well,
said it's going to
apparently
be
he's
a.
in it.
They said Deadpool 3 is going to be a hard R.
Oh, okay. I took that very different. Um, yeah, so yeah, no, they're definitely, that makes sense. Because it makes more sense that way. Because the other person that's been officially announced is Morbius, who is Owen Wilson's character from Loki. I
Yep.
think he's the only one from the new MCU that has been officially announced. Possibly, I think Hulk is in it, but now that you're making me question it, I don't know if it's been fully confirmed yet.
We don't know.
Also, very true. And also, when they say confirmed, let's be honest, they could have had like a 2 second cameo, or like you see a picture
Hmm.
of their face on a poster.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, look at they had all of the X Men in Deadpool 2.
Did they?
Remember the door opened, and they had all of the X Men in there.
Oh,
It
yeah.
literally was a cameo of all the first class X Men.
Yep. Yep, I remember that now. Yeah, it's been a while.
No, but I mean,
It's
like
been a
it
while.
was the quickest cameo ever.
Hmm.
But it was literally all of them because they closed the door so Deadpool wouldn't pick them to ask them to help. And
um,
that's when Colossus came to help
the
fight the better Juggernaut.
accurate. Um, it's interesting to see what's going to happen. I know it's kind of like changing the subject, but like I'm interested to see how all this is going to play out now that we have the writer strike and the actor strike. What's going to get postponed? What's
I think
going
there's going to be a
to
lot of postponing, and I think we're going to have to wait and see what happens because
and
I don't think
did you hear about Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, saying like he's going to cut down on the Star Wars and Marvel content because he thinks it's been
overdone.
overly produced.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So I'm very interested to see what's going on.
I'm also wondering if he's going to use that as an excuse to kind of help with the postponing of dealing with all like the strikes and stuff like that. Um,
Oh, okay, that's fair.
but at the same time, it would be very stupid of him because he's making money. Um, but I think he's worried that there's not enough Disney content.
He talked about that. He did talk about Disney. He said Disney. He said the Disney content is still making money. Um, and he admits that sometimes the Disney content has been not their best. But actually, no, I'm going off of it. I'm going off of the whole making money thing. Um, Ant-Man actually, I remember Ant-Man did not make make budget. So that is the
It
first
was a
MCU
good
movie.
movie. I don't care. I don't
I'm just
care. I
saying.
don't care.
I'm just saying. If you're looking at the CEO standpoint, he's going to be like, well, the first MCU movie not to make money, time to cut it back.
Well, no, I do get that piece. But all right, we've done enough of that. Let's talk about our character spotlights. Mike, how quick are
Yeah,
you?
I know, I can tell you're falling asleep.
Pretty much. I mean, that's really what it's coming down to. Are you going to go first, or do you want me to?
I can go first, and it's perfectly fine.
Go first.
All right. The character that I the character that I picked this time, I felt it was fitting for the time of year. Like that face change. So, the character that I picked first appeared in the comics during the golden age of comics back in July of 1940.
Speak faster.
His name is Uncle Sam.
I've actually read about this character. Continue.
You have? That's
Because
hilarious.
it came up during
Uh,
4th of July.
oh, really?
Yeah, because they're talking about the most patriotic characters of all time, and obviously he comes up. But continue. Sorry.
So, Uncle Sam was depicted as a mystical being who was originally a slain patriotic soldier during the American Revolution. And now he appears whenever the country needs him. He was pretty prominent during the 1940s, during just before World War II. Um, but he was originally part of Quality Comics, but eventually in the 50s, DC bought Quality Comics, so he kind of had a character reset. Um, he became kind of a supporting character in the 70s for the Justice League of America comic series. Um, he was part of the Freedom Fighters, which was a group actually from the Quality Comics, and DC brought them over into their comic world. Um, he is known as a spiritual entity that's kind of just comes up when, like I said, when the country needs him, he makes his appearance. Um, he's specific, so he is the spirit of America, and he was initially bound to a powerful talisman, and would take the form of a person by merging his spirit with a dying patriot. So, like I said, when the country needs him, he makes his return. Um, Other times he's been resurrected during the country's civil war. He became back during World War I, and he also came back during World War II. He's kind of support like he comes in as more supporting roles in Justice League books. He's had his own standalone series. He's made appearances in the Spectre, but since the Crisis on Infinite Earths series, he kind of has been less prominent. So, what makes Uncle Sam so special? He has many powers. He has super strength, invulnerability, enhanced speed. He can alter his size, and he has clairvoyancy.
Yeah, the ability to kind of see the future a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So specifically, from when by clicking on that, it says he uh, gains. He has. It's a psychic ability to gain information from other objects, persons, or locations.
Yes, I consider it like yes, but you're correct. That is
Okay.
the legal definition.
Too big of a word for me. So, um, he is also able to transport himself to other pocket dimensions. So the Freedom Fighter group, um, they are actually from Earth 2. They were able to, with Uncle Sam's ability, he could transport himself to Earth 10, where in Earth 10 is the universe that basically the World War II never ended. So it continued through, instead of ending in the 40s, it continued, I think in Earth 10, it didn't end until like the 80s or something.
Okay.
So he was able to transport his group from Earth 2 to Earth 10 to try to help the Allies fight the Axis power. Um, but yeah, that's Uncle Sam in the DC Comics. I thought because it was the 4th of July time period, I wanted to do a patriotic character. And the fact that they literally made an Uncle Sam character superhero was, I thought that was hilarious and wanted to touch on him.
Fair enough. All right, so you ready for mine?
Yep.
So, we all know Nick Fury, right?
No.
Well, do you truly know Nick Fury? Well, I'm going to be talking about Nicholas Fury Jr. of 616. He was the son of
That's
CIA
hilarious.
agents Nia Jones and Nick Fury. Marcus Johnson spent most of his life unaware of his parentage or his mother's true past. When a fling with Nia resulted in her pregnancy, she feared that both her and her unborn child would become targets of his enemies. Nia reluctantly agreed to leave her life behind, move into Atlanta, Georgia, and taking the surname Johnson. And adopting the identity of a social studies teacher, she gave birth to a child and named him Marcus. Now, growing up without any contact or awareness of his true father, whom he believed to be dead, Marcus lived a normal life. In high school, he was a skilled football player. Instead of taking a scholarship, he enlisted in the Army when he was 18. He served in Iraq for a tour and went back to the States and studied philosophy, out of all the things, at University of Georgia,
Philosophy.
re-enlisted afterwards, and by the time Marcus was 30, he served as an Army Ranger in Afghanistan alongside his best friend, Phil the Cheese Coulson. It's not even an exaggeration. I can't believe this is the truth. In addition of the identity of his father, Marcus also unaware of his he had inherited from Fury the infinity formula, the body enhancing serum that ingrained in Marcus's DNA and his blood generated the formula on its own. Dun dun dun. So anyway, he was taken to Shield at one point to the headquarters to be placed in a witness program, and decided to escape after realizing he was being withheld information. Marcus sought out Coulson's help, and the two of them located one of Taskmaster's safe houses to help deal with that. Let us move on from there. Aha! He later okay. Marcus also learned that his legal name was Nicholas Fury Jr. and it was adopted it as well. So he later became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. along with Coulson and took on the name Nicholas Fury Jr. And he rose quickly into the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D., which we're not surprised about, creating his own organization of the Secret Avengers to team up together with Coulson to deal with many different threats. We have many different things that have come up, and he's actually taken on the mantle of Nick Fury and dealt with a lot of stuff in the comics. So he has the Infinity Formula inheritance. He was born with the Infinity Formula in his blood, which grants him limited immortality as well as peak human physical ability. He has peak human condition, peak human strength, and peak human durability. He's an expert combatant, he has a battle suit, and he has various high-powered firearms. Now, do you know why this character was created in 2011?
No. I would like you to tell me.
Oh, don't you worry, young man. I will gladly tell you. He was created for this character to get us ready for Samuel L. Jackson to play Nicholas Fury, because this Nick Fury was African American and the original Nick Fury was not.
Oh. Uh,
So the idea was to keep the popularization of Nick Fury, but also making it more realistic to what the movie is going to be showing.
you said he was created in
Yep.
2011? Wasn't Nick Fury introduced in like
Yep.
2008 or 2007?
Correct.
A little late.
Well, the idea was the reason for it was because I think what was happening was I think they might have saw that people weren't thrilled with the idea of a Nick Fury of being Samuel Jackson in the beginning, and so they created the character supposedly to help.
People.
Yeah, no, it always comes down to people. But realistically, in my opinion, Samuel Jackson's done a great job.
Seriously. Like,
So the main
who
reason
cares?
for the creation of this character was the increasing. I'm sorry, was because of the increased popularity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of Nick Fury, and so later
Okay, so
became
this was created because of
because of
that.
it. Okay,
Okay.
never mind. So I misread it. So it was actually the opposite. It was because of Samuel Jackson's great performance that they decided to create this character.
Okay.
And instead of recasting him or redoing him, they decided to make a brand new character, which I think did well and took on the new mantle of Nicholas Fury.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Please like and subscribe below. We will be posting this video on the 15th, and we will hope that we will get ready for the next one as well. But Mike and I have some stuff that we have to get done, and who knows if we're going to be able to have time to film, but we should be able to. We made time this time, we can make time next time. So for now, this is Scott and Mike signing off the Black Eel Podcast. Have a great night, because I'm going to bed.
Night.